back to DigiBear, everyone. I'm Tom, and today we're going to do a video about our software stack. These are softwares that we use or have used along the way. Now, some of them you need them to get started, and some of them you can scale into. When you get started, few things are more important than preserving your funds. You want to make sure that you keep your overhead as low as possible. And that means not subscribing to every software that's out there, because there's a ton of them. And a lot of them are great and do great things, but to get started, you really don't need everything. You want to learn the basics before you kind of start jumping in to everything else. So we're going to show you what we started with and some of the stuff that we use now. Now, some of the stuff is expensive and it's not for absolute new sellers, but some of it we would recommend as a necessity for new sellers. So let's get into it here. First software that we're going to look at here is one that is extremely important. I would call it a necessity, and I would venture a guess that almost everyone that sells on Amazon would also call it a necessity. This is Keepa. Now, Keepa costs about $200 a year, and it's probably the best $200 you're going to spend on the Amazon platform. As you can see, this software is very robust. It has a lot of features built into it. One of the most important and one of the most valuable features is the one that you're looking at here, and that is of the sales rank history. That's what's in the top chart here. Now you're going to see how this product performs over time, which is going to help you make a better buying decision. If you see that something is all of the sudden not selling, that'll give you a hint. Or if you see that something has not been selling and has started selling, maybe it's because there's suddenly more offers on it, or maybe it's for any variety of reasons. But with this software, you can drill into it and you can see everything. Not only does it allow you to see that, it allows you to see the number of sellers on something and the trends of the numbers of sellers on something. So if you see something that consistently has 20 sellers on it, 10 sellers on it, you're going to know that this is a listing that is here to stay. And one of the reasons why that is so important is, let's say you see a listing with 5 sellers on it, and then all of a sudden it goes down to 1 seller. Well, generally that is a sign of an IP complaint or some sort of a trademark problem from the brand owner. When that happens, what they do is they claim that everyone selling on their listing is selling a counterfeit product. When that happens, Amazon shuts the listing down. They take every seller off of it all at the same time until they can prove that it's authentic. Now, when you're starting off, these types of claims are detrimental to you, and you want to make sure that you do absolutely everything to avoid getting these, because a couple of these will shut you down for good, and it's not what we need. So this is a great tool to see the potential of any IP claims. Now, there's softwares out there that do this for you, and some of the softwares have built-in IP checkers right there. The problems with some of those softwares is they're built via a database, and the way that they get their data is it has to be reported by somebody. The feature is only as good as the data is. So for it to be relying on these items to get reported is tough, because I've never reported one to any of these softwares. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that do. So I'm not quite sure where they get their data. It's a good guideline. You could use it as a signal to confirm your suspicions. A lot of these extensions and softwares that tell you if there's an IP claim that's in them are made by other sellers. Now be careful with this, because I don't know who these people are, and I'm not sure about you, but I don't trust anyone with my business other than me. So, with a wild conspiracy theory, let's go with the possibility of, if I was selling something that was very profitable and I wanted to keep other sellers off of it, and I was running a software that was an IP checker, I could just say, there's IP claims on this. Stay away. And what better deterrent than that? Now, I'm not saying any of these are like this, or all of them, or whoever, if anyone does it. But I am saying that it's a possibility. And remember that with any data point that you see, it's only as good as the reliability of the data. And that's why Keep is so great. So in addition to be able to track the sales rank and the number of sellers, You can also track the number of reviews. Now, this is important for a couple reasons, but one review monitoring strategy that we use is if you're looking at a listing and you're not quite sure if it's selling or not, like the signals aren't telling you one way or another and you're kind of on the fence, if you see those reviews steadily climbing and going up, that generally means the product is selling because there's more reviews coming in for it. It's just another little metric to help make your decision. Another very, very valuable feature that Keepa has is a variations chart. And what this does is it allows you to look at all of the different variations of a listing to see which one is selling. Sometimes you'll have a shirt that's 10 colors, 5 sizes. But not all of those variations sell the same way. They don't all move at the same pace or velocity. Some of them might not even move at all. So with this tool, it allows you to see which variations are getting the percentage of the reviews. The more reviews it's getting, the more that it's selling. That's a very valuable tool to see what's going on in these variation listings. Now we have several Keepa tutorials that you can get into, so I'm not going to get more into it than that right now, but I will tell you that Keepa is the MVP. It gets the award for most valuable. Next up, we have a software called Jungle Scout. Jungle Scout is something that we used very heavily when we first started because it has a lot of different data points, a lot of other things to help us make our buying decisions. So as you can see here, Jungle Scout has a lot of different pieces of information for you to look at. None are more valuable than their sales estimator. As you can see here in the top left, it's giving you your average daily sales. So this is telling you how often each day this product is selling. Now, this is an estimate. It's not an exact science, but it is fairly close. It will get you into the ballpark. And this information is obviously extremely important because when you're starting out, while you can see the sales ranks of these items, we don't really know what a 50,000 rank in beauty does. We don't really know what that translates to in actual sales. So Jungle Scout is a great tool for this because you can see right here at least a very accurate ballpark of how often this item is selling. That's a very helpful feature. Another feature that it has that's also very helpful, if you see here in the top right, you're seeing they give something called an opportunity score. They use a couple different metrics when they calculate this opportunity score. The short version of it is basically items that sell a lot with low competition, which gives you an opportunity. We want to be on listings that are as less competitive as they can be. That way we know we're going to sell more. We also want to be on listings that we know sell and sell well. And this tells us both things. This is going to tell us the average number of competitors, which Keepa also does. But with their opportunity score, it's just another metric to look at to help us make our good decisions. To me, the most valuable feature of this software is the top left-hand corner, the sales estimator. And it's very easy to use. It's a Chrome extension, and you could just extract it whenever you want off of a data page. You could even search for a product in a regular search and just search Dove soap. And you'll get all of the results, and you'll say, okay, which ones of these Dove soaps sell? Well, you can use Jungle Scout on that whole page. And all that data will be right there in front of you, making your life a little easier. Remember, when we make buying decisions, there are a ton of data points that we use, and there's a ton of data points that are available to us. It's our job to figure out how the puzzle pieces go together. All of these softwares are just providing us with the pieces. Here you'll see the cost structure of Jungle Scout. There's no reason not to be in the beginner tier to start off with, but this is another very valuable tool for sellers that are beginning. I would recommend this as a near necessity. This is a close second place to Keepa. This next software is one of my personal favorites, and it's something that I would consider a necessity. This helps us make informed buying decisions, and it helps us speed up the process. This is a Chrome extension called RevSeller. Now, there's a lot of other similar extensions that do this. This one just happens to be our favorite. It's what we've used all along, and it's what we're going to continue to use. One thing I'll say about RevSeller is it's going to circle back to one of the previous statements that we made when we said the data is only as good as the reliability of it. And I will tell you from personal experience that this data is good. We have verified it time and time again, only to come up with the same results. This data is good. So let's get into it. As you can see right here, this is a Chrome extension. It automatically displays on the product page as soon as you get there. This allows us to do several different things. Right in front of our face, it pops up and tells us the sales rank, so we immediately know what that is. But even more importantly than that, this is going to calculate our net after Amazon fees. And you can see there's even a field over here to put in our product costs. So it'll show us our profitability. We're going to see our ROI, and we're going to see our profit margin right there on the page. And like I said before, this is about making informed buying decisions and try to do it as quickly and effectively as possible. Now, we have an entire video dedicated to RevSeller, and I'm not going to get into it too much here, but the most important things to take away from this part is the sales rank is right in front of you, as well as the fee structure is right in front of you. This will also tell you if an item is hazmat, if an item is oversized, if an item is in hazmat review, or if an item is meltable. Another thing that RevSeller does well is when you search for a product on Amazon, let's say you're searching for Dove soap again, it's going to bring you to the Amazon page with all the different results on it. And as you can see here, RevSeller has another pop-up that shows up. It's showing us most of the same information that's on the product page, except right here, we don't have to click into it. It's saving us the click time, which is actually very important. Over here, you can see it's going to show you the sales rank, it's going to show you the low FBA price, and it's going to show you your net. You can also set it for small and light, which is tremendously helpful. The fact that this is here on the same page helps us accomplish our goal of making the informed buying decisions, but we need to also understand that our time is valuable, and anything that we can do to identify a winner or a loser quicker is going to make us more profitable because we'll have more time to source more products. Now, if you want to see more about RevSeller, go check out our full review and full tutorial of this software. It is something we highly recommend. We do not have any affiliate links for it. We're not pushing it for any incentive other than the fact that we think it's valuable and we can think it helps you. Now, at the time of this recording, RevSeller costs about $100 every year. And for our money, it's some of the best money we spend. Now, when you begin selling, this next software is something that's very valuable to you. It's one of the softwares that we started using, and it helped us a lot. Now, I can't get into too much of the functionality of what it does now, because it's been years since we've used it, but the long and the short of it is it's an inventory management system of sorts. It's called Inventory Lab. Some of the functionality that it brings is the ability to create an inventory database outside of Amazon. It allows you to track your product costs and your vendors, and I believe it even helps you make replenishment decisions. It allows you to track your profitability, but I think even more valuable than that is you can create shipments with it outside of Seller Central. Now, anyone that's ever used the Send to Amazon workflow knows that it is absolute garbage. So anything that we can do to keep us out of that is helpful for us. So Inventory Lab helps with that. It lets you print your labels right from their platform. It lets you send and ship shipments directly from there. I don't think you even have to go into Seller Central. Now, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it used to be. I also think that they have a competing extension with RevSeller. I haven't seen it, but I've been told that it's very good. So you might want to look at that as well, because I think that would be included in your cost. Inventory Lab is very reasonably priced. It's at $69 a month, as you can see here. And one of the things that we did wrong, and one of the most important things to do from the beginning, is to get into good habits. And good habits means tracking your items properly. It means harvesting as much data as you can. You want to make sure that you truly know if you're profitable, if you truly know when you should be and should not be sending an inventory. Now, I can't speak on the accuracy of Inventory Lab's reports or their fulfillment recommendations, but I can say is having that information from you, from whatever source it comes from, is very valuable. You want to make sure that you have a centralized database for all your products and everything that you send into Amazon. We didn't do this when we started off because we didn't know any better. But I'm telling you right now that one of the biggest helps that you could get is creating a database. Now, for our personal use, we find it easier to go through a Google Sheets app or the in-house software that we created. But this could be a great way to get started on a smaller scale. Last, but certainly not least, is you're going to need some sort of a repricing software. You're going to want to make sure that you have a software in place to combat everyone's constant price changes, because prices change on Amazon very frequently, and you need to stay on that, because it could be the difference between a penny between you and the next person, and that could change your buy box percentage from 30% to 1%. So you want to make sure that you have a software in place that does this. Now, when you're starting out, you probably don't need a very in-depth repricer. You're going to want something that has nice, simple functionality that can do the tasks that you need it to. I have heard good things about Profit Protector and Go Aura. I can't confirm any of this, but these are some of the beginner tools that I know are much more economical. However, when you start to scale and when you start to get bigger, you're going to want a more robust, powerful software. And that's what this next one is here. This is the most robust and powerful repricing software on the market. In addition to that, in our opinion, it is the best analytics that you will ever see. It has more data points available to you than you could imagine, and it allows us to scale to where we are. Without this software, we definitely would not be here. The power of this software cannot be understated. It allows you to make informed buying decisions. It allows you to deeply analyze your competitors. It shows you when Amazon enters a listing, when it exits a listing. It shows you the items that you're not selling. It shows you the items that you're selling at your ceiling that you could be making more money on. And this software is FeedVisor. And FeedVisor is the Cadillac of repricing tools. Now, again, when you get started off, this tool is not for you. It will be very difficult to make up for the cost of this starting off. We want to make sure when we're beginning that we keep our expenses as low as possible. The overhead as low as possible. So this is a tremendous software that you can scale into. Now, I'm going to show you a few quick shots here, just so you can have an idea of some of the things that it can bring to the table. Looking at this screenshot here, you're going to see a nice global picture of your sales, of your profitability. It's going to show you your top selling items. It's going to show you your profit margin and your operating margin. One of the great things about FeedVisor is we have relentlessly checked this data and fact checked them, and it is always on point. You're also going to see how many items you sold, the total value of inventory that you have in stock. Now, there's a lot of platforms that do this, but I'm not sure how many do it on this scale. You can drill down to data points and then drill down to data points, and you can find the information that you need on a granular level. And that helps you make the best possible buying decisions. Now, as you can see here, you're seeing your top selling products. Where it breaks it down, it's going to show you your title, your fulfillment method, whether it's repricing or not, the items, the order items, and so on and so forth. You're going to see how many days in stock you have, how many days of inventory you have left. You'll be able to drill in here even more to find out how many you're supposed to order. All of these analytics are great, and all of this data is terrific. But what sets them apart from everyone else is their repricer. We have full videos on this in our advanced class if you want to get into them, but for now, let's just say it's the best repricer out there. And it's there because it's the first truly algorithmic repricer. And FeedVisor's goal is different than everyone else's goal. What makes them so unique is they are more focused on getting you your fair share of the buy box than dominating the buy box. And this helps preserve the price. It helps preserve the buy box price as well as your profit. FeedVisor's main objective is not to get you the buy box. It's not to increase your sales. It's to increase your profit. And that is the most important thing in this business. You probably hear me say it every video. It is your profit. How much money are you left with at the end of the day? And FeedVisor is a tremendous tool for this. Now, when you are ready to scale into it and you are starting to do some volume, this is a tremendous tool for you. They have an Essentials program that they just released that is $500 a month. We do have an affiliate referral link on this product. This is the only product that we have with an affiliate link. Every other thing we've mentioned today has been because we genuinely believe in it. While we genuinely believe in FeedVisor, because we definitely do, it's important for you to know that we do have an affiliate link for this. This affiliate link, I think, will get you a free month so you can try it out. You really don't have much to lose with this once you get to scale. But again, when you're starting off, this software just simply isn't for you unless you have a big budget. Now, the last thing I'm going to say about FeedVisor is we have, over the years, tried out any repricer that you can think of. Things that aren't even on the market anymore, like Techometrics. We've tried SellerSnap. We've tried so many different options, and we always go back to FeedVisor. And that's because we have seen the capabilities of FeedVisor. We took the time to learn it and to understand its power. When we moved over to something else, it just simply wasn't as good. We noticed our margins drop immediately. We may have seen our sales increase, but we noticed our margin drop, which means our profit dropped. While the sales increase is great, and it really is, it's not really about that. It's about the profit. So when we switched to something else, we noticed our profitability was going down. We gave this software a fair shake too, because it was touted as the best. However, after being with them for a while, we noticed that our actual profit number was decreasing. And because we're such a large seller, we're not on the FeedVisor Essentials program. We're an enterprise customer, which means it's not $500 a month for us. But even with the money that we were saving by switching to this other software, we were losing more in profit. And that's the point we always have to hit home, is profit, profit, profit. These are only some of the softwares that we use. All of these we consider to be very valuable and something that you should think about no matter what stage you're at. Unless you're a beginner, in which case you should not look at FeedVisor. Now, even though this video was a little longer than I wanted it to be, I still have to give an honorable mention. And this honorable mention goes to Wizard Industries. Now, the very short version, Wizard Industries is a software to improve your warehouse operations. If you're using a prep center, it absolutely does not apply to you. But if you are prepping your own products on any sort of a scale, Wizard or a similar software to Wizard is very necessary. Wizard allows you to print 2D barcodes, and this helps out with box content. Now, this is more of an advanced topic, but essentially, Amazon needs to know what they're getting in a shipment. But more important than that, they need to know what is inside every box. So, a 2D barcode saves a lot of warehouse labor and effort. It also reduces the risk of mistakes and has plenty of other benefits. But for now, for this video, it only receives the honorable mention. It is a software we still use to this day, and there are other softwares out there. All right, everybody, that's what we have for today. Thanks for watching. Hustle up.